Manufacturing went whole.
Excuse
number
me,
one.
Chris. Wait.
Number two.
Chris.
Number three.
They said it would take. No, you were number two.
No.
Million people with private health care that they're very
That's
happy
simply
with.
not true.
Well, you're certainly going to socialist. You're going to socialist medicine.
We're now into, gentlemen.
And said your party wants to go socialist
My
medicine
party is
and
me.
socialist
right
healthcare.
now, I am
and
the
they're going to
Democratic
dominate
Party.
you, Joe. You know that.
I am the Democratic Party right now.
That was the worst
I
part of
didn't ask
Obamacare.
Sir,
Chris,
you're
that was the
debating him,
worst
not
part of
me.
Obama.
Let me ask my question.
Well, I'll ask Joe. The individual mandate was the most unpopular aspect of Obamacare. I got rid of it.
I'd like you
and we will protect
Mr.
people
President,
with
I'm the
pre-existing
moderator of this
conditions.
debate, and I would like you to let me ask my question.
Joe, you agreed
two.
with Bernie Sanders, who's far
did.
left, on the manifesto,
When
we
you-
call it,
when
and that
manifest-
gives you socialized medicine.
Look, hey,
Are you saying
I'm not
you
going to
didn't
listen to
agree?
him. The fact of the matter is, I beat Bernie Sanders.
Not by much.
I beat him a whole hell of a lot. I'm
Not
here.
by
I'm here
much.
standing facing you, old buddy.
Pocahontas would have left
Well,
2 days
I tell
early.
you,
You would have lost every primary.
All he knows how to
on
do
Super
is hurt.
Tuesday. You got
Look,
very lucky.
here's the deal. I got very lucky. I'm going to get very lucky tonight as well. And tonight I'm going to
With
make
what?
sure, because
With what?
here's the deal. Here's the deal. The fact is that everything he's saying so far is simply a lie. I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
But you
I just
agree,
want to
and
make sure.
Joe, you're the liar.
I want to make sure.
Graduated last in your class, not first in your class.
I want to make
Mr.
sure.
President, can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how to do that. He has,
You'd be surprised.
You pick
You'd be surprised.
the
Go ahead,
wrong
Joe.
guy,
Talk,
the wrong
talk,
night
Joe.
at the wrong time.
Listen, you agreed with
Here's the
Bernie
deal.
Sanders to the
The
manifesto.
whole idea.
let him-
There is no manifesto, number
Please
one.
let him speak, Mr.
Number
President.
two.
You just lost the left.
Number two.
You just lost the left. You agreed with Bernie Sanders on a plan
Folks,
that's absolutely
folks,
agreed
do you have
to,
any
and under that
idea
plan,
what
you
this clown's
socialized,
doing?
They call it
Mr.
Do you
Mr.
have any
President.
do?
socialized medicine.
Mr.
Well,
President.
I tell you what, he is not for any. Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know
He doesn't want
you're a
to answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why
because
wouldn't you answer that
because
question?
the
You wanna
question
put a lot of
is the
new
question
Supreme Court
is
justices,
the
radical
question-
left.
Will you
Who is
shut up,
on,
man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
This
Who's
is
on your
so
list?
right.
Gentlemen,
This is-
I think
This
we've
is
ended
so
this.
He's going to pack the
unprecedented.
court.
We have
I'm not going to give a list.
We have ended this segment. We're going to move on to the second segment.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it? Keep yapping, man.
The people understand, Joe.
They sure do.
47 years you've done nothing. They understand.
All right.
So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing.
let's have this debate.
And if
We'll
you
see
would have
who's
had, let me just tell you something, Joe.
No,
if you would have had the charge of what I was put through, I had to close the greatest economy in the history of our country. And by the way, now it's being built again.
see,
and
he-
it's
We're going to
going
get
up
to the
fast.
economy in the next segment, sir.
Okay.
It's going up fast.
Okay.
Look forward to
Don't
talking.
when-
have the money to be able to reopen with the PPE as well as with the sanitation they need. You have to provide
that
them
to Nancy
plastic.
Pelosi.
Well, he's just shush for a minute.
Tell it to Nancy Pelosi. And Schumer,
by the
Brian
way,
Chuck.
Nancy Pelosi and Schumer, they have a plan. He won't even meet with them. The Republicans won't meet with him in the
Okay.
Senate. And he sits on his golf course. And I mean, literally, think about it.
You probably play
think
more than
about
I
it.
do, Joe.
What about this question of reopenings and the fact?
$100 billion because of his profligate tax proposal, and he only focused on the market.
Specific question, which
But
is.
let me tell you-
I understand all of that.
Release your
I
tax
understand
return.
all of
But-
that.
but let me-
No, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
I'm asking you a question. How much you paid in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017?
Millions of dollars.
You paid millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars.
So
yes.
not 750.
Millions of dollars, and you'll get to see it. And you'll get to
When?
see it. But let me just
Inshallah?
tell you, Chris, let me just tell you something, that it was the tax laws. I don't want to pay tax.
Because you, in fact, passed that. That was
Right.
your
I got
tax
it-
proposal.
I got it done. And you know what happened?
Yeah, you got it done.
Our economy boomed
And
like
the-
it's never
and
boomed
the
before.
economy
Well,
is
Mr.
busted.
President,
let me
wait, no,
finish.
let me- Mr.
Manufacturing went whole.
Excuse
number
me,
one.
Chris. Wait.
Number two.
Chris.
Number three.
They said it would take. No, you were number two.
No.
You
Go
they
ahead.
said
You
it
get
would-
Here's the
wait
deal.
a minute. You get the final word, Mr.
Well, it's hard to get any word in with this clown. Excuse me. This.
Hey,
this
let me just
person.
tell you.
No. I'm Mr. President.
$3.5
I'm Mr.
million,
President.
Joe.
No,
He stood up
the answer to
and
the
he
question is no.
threatened Ukraine.
No, sir.
With $1 billion, if you
that
don't get rid of
is
the
absolutely
you know what? You're, wait,
not
Stop.
true.
Tape doing it.
Think that the country would be better served if we allowed both people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do that.
Well, and him too.
Well, frankly, you've been doing more interrupting
Well, that's
than
all
he
right,
has.
but he does plenty.
Well, less sensitivity training. And do you believe that there is systemic racism in this country, sir?
I ended it because it's racist. I ended it because a lot of people were complaining that they were asked to do things that were absolutely insane, that it was a radical revolution that was taking place in our military, in our schools, all over the place, and you know it, and so does everybody
what
else.
Is radical,
and he would know.
What is
it was
radical
totally
about
racist.
racial sensitivity training, sir?
If you were a certain person, you had no status in life. It was sort of a reversal. And if you look at the people, we were paying people hundreds of thousands of dollars to teach very bad ideas and, frankly, very sick ideas. And really, they were teaching people to hate our country.
A suburb, unless he took a wrong turn.
Oh, I know suburbs.
He would not.
So much
I was
better.
raised.
Go ahead. Wait a minute.
I was raised in the suburbs. This is not 1950. All these dog whistles and racism don't work anymore. Suburbs are by and large integrated. There's many people today driving their kids to soccer practice and/or to black and white and Hispanic in the same car as there have been any time in the past.
I'm asking you.
I would love to end it.
Sir.
I would love to end it. and
You know,
we
if
would
you want to
very-
switch seats,
we could very quickly.
We could do that, but
I'd send in the National Guard. It would be over. There'd be no problem.
Okay. Number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland.
Sure,
Are you
I'm willing
prepared
to do
specifically
that, but
do it?
Well,
I
go
would
ahead,
say
sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see
Well,
peace.
then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name. Go
supremacists
ahead.
and
Who would
white
you like me to
supremacists.
condemn?
White
Proud Boys.
supremacists and right wing
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this
His FBI director
Gentlemen,
said.
Well,
we're
then
gonna-
you know what?
No,
He's
no,
wrong.
we're done, sir. We're
Everybody-
moving on to the next.
everybody
We're
When
moving.
a bat
advice
hits
in
you
your
over the head, that's
administration.
not an idea.
Everybody in
Antifa
your
is
administration
bad.
tells. My son was in Iraq. He spent a year there. He got the Bronze Star. He got the Conspicuous Service Medal. He was not a loser. He was a patriot, and the people left behind there were heroes.
Really?
And I resent.
Are you talking
like
about
hell.
Hunter? Are you talking about
I'm
Hunter?
talking about my son, Bo Biden. You're
I
talking
don't know.
about.
I don't know, Bo. I know Hunter.
Yeah,
Hunter
you know
got
Bo.
thrown. Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He
For
wasn't dishonorably
cocaine use. And he didn't have a job until you became vice president. And once you
None of
became
that
vice
is
president,
true.
he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
That is simply
and various
not
other places.
true.
He
My
made a
son,
fortune.
my son,
And he didn't have a job.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it, and I'm proud of him.
But why
I'm
was he
proud of
given
my
tens
son.
of millions
All
of
right.
But he
dollars?
wasn't given
All right.
tens of
He
millions
was
of
given
dollars. That
tens
is
of
totally,
millions of
that's
dollars.
been totally
President Trump,
discredited.
you've already been
Totally discredited.
We've already been through this. I think the American people would rather hear about more substantial
So do I.
subjects. Well, you know, as the moderator, sir, I'm going to make a,
I know,
a
but when
judgment call
somebody
here.
gets $3.5 million
Okay, great.
from the
Let's talk
mayor
about-
of Moscow,
let's talk
That is
about-
I
not
think
true.
it's a terrible
That
thing.
report is totally
Why did he get it?
discredited.
I
predicted that Trump would just be interrupting the whole time. Like, obviously, yes, that's what was going to happen. Obviously, Trump would just keep interrupting, not shut up.
And the problem with that is that every time you do, you're kind of just seceding the playing field to him. And like
Yeah.
Joe Biden can't survive in that, as you saw. Like every single time it happened, it was embarrassing. And he's, I mean, I don't want to characterize him as being sleepy, because that's kind of Trump's insult. But he's playing into that character if he just responds with, "That's not true. I'm sorry.
If
That's
Trump-
not
yeah.
true." You know?
If Biden plays by the rules, which he did, then he ends up looking like the weaker one in that situation, because Trump's just talking over him and won't shut up. He has to match Trump at that energy level. He has to come back and interrupt as much as he is. He has to be forceful. The best moments Biden has is when he didn't he call Trump a name or something? Like, there were a few times where, a clown. There were a few times where he had moments like that, and those stand out because those are moments of honesty and of him really.
He did say you're the worst president in our history.
Yeah,
which I think
he should have been a little more forceful while saying that. I think another good moment is when he was talking about his son Bo in the military, and it's because of his performance of it. Like, he was really pissed off. He was angry.
But once again, Trump took control of that situation and spun the whole thing around. I know.
Acted like it was-
And then we're
yeah,
talking about Hunter
started
Biden
talking
and
about,
cocaine, and that's what we'll all remember, and that's what the clips
Yeah.
will play ad nauseum
Yeah.
on the right wing spin cycle now.
Yeah, exactly. So he has to, in the next debate, he has to be a lot more forceful. He laid back way too much on the Hunter Biden stuff. He has to pivot immediately to Trump's kids and
Yes.
how he's personally benefited.
Didn't
how
mention
his
them
kids have
once.
benefited. I think he eventually brought up his
President
kids, but it
Trump
was
to
so
say
brief.
quiet.
And then Trump flipped it around and again. Like he has to understand that the performance aspect of these debates is very important. Even though Trump lied the entire time, if you're the average person watching at home, you may have not really caught on to all those lies. So it's
that's the thing, right? This whole fact checking, post hoc kind of strategy, it's never worked against Trump. And I would assume we would have learned a lot of things from the Hillary Clinton era, right? And at the end of the day, like, he played into his traps, in my opinion, Joe Biden, way worse than Hillary ever did, in terms of just getting stuck in Trump's particular style. And I'm going to be honest, you could have made a case, and I will stand by this, that Chris Wallace was more favorable to Joe Biden in that debate. Like, he was definitely holding Trump to the grill, I guess maybe by proxy, the fact that Trump was consistently the one interrupting. But still, that's going to be a narrative that the right wing uses as well. Like, even though Chris Wallace was, siding with Joe Biden, still Trump demolished him.
Yeah, even though it's, I wouldn't even necessarily say it. I mean, that whole last question about the ballots, that was just
thank you so much,
completely
Graham.
Trump framing.
I'm just talking to a guest right now,
Will you
I'll take you
trust
after.
do you trust the ballots in this election? Like, why are you framing the question though? The way it should be framed is there has never been a question at all about mail-in balloting. Trump, you brought this up as an issue. What evidence do you have for it? But instead, it was brought up as this neutral position, as, oh, yes, there's questions about the ballots. Well, Trump, what do you think? Biden, what do you think? Like, no, there's no questions. Trump invented that entire narrative to try and make this election out to be, something you can't trust the result of. So it's.
What did you think about that harrowing final moment where, just straight ask, like, what would you do in terms of the word and messaging to your followers, and would you accept the results of the election? And the first response was, I'm going to send my followers and tell them to go monitor voting booths.
Yeah, it's Trump being honest. Some of the rare times where he is honest, it's him telling his base that I want you out there causing problems. And Democrats have to be aware of that. And they can't just play this like a normal election. They have to be proactive. They have to be not just defensive, not just get the lawyers ready for, a potential fight after the election. No, do get involved now. Ensure there are people that are going to be at the polls now to counteract his Proud Boys or whoever the hell's going to be there. So,
speaking of the Proud Boys, what was that? His response to the Proud Boys was stand by.
Yeah, stamp. Yeah,
what does that even mean? I don't even want to say that was some kind of a dog whistle or something. Like, what does he mean by that? I'm just confused.
Well, he was the question was set up in a way where he was Trump was being asked to tell them to stand down, and then instead of saying stand down, he said stand by.
Right.
So it was almost like it could be perceived as just, saying the wrong word, like slipping up, and he meant to say stand down, but obviously he doesn't want them to stand down, so he's not going to say that. That's why he paused and he, hummed and hawed when he was asked to tell his his white nationalist supporters or Proud Boys to I guess stand down, and he did not want to tell them to stand down because he doesn't want them to stand down.
So stand by.
Yeah, so stand by.
So what, be my reserve army? Like, I'm ready for you.
Yeah. and just I don't know. There was so much lying. I'm sure Daniel Dale of CNN is going to have one of those other videos that go viral of him like spewing out like fact checks for 5 minutes. So we're going to see some fact checks on that. But man, for the next debate, Biden has to be prepared to be a little more forceful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think, though, potentially, you could also say, and there are some people saying this in my chat here, that Biden made a fool of himself. Or sorry, not Biden, but Trump did, by constantly interrupting, by always seeming defensive, by being somebody who wouldn't shut up. You can, in a way, perceive that as him being incredibly
Juvenile.
weak and juvenile, being scared and just trying to take control of the conversation because he doesn't want. he doesn't want the conversation to really get to him and have Biden say anything.
See, so my response to that is Trump's base loves that. That's what they see as strength.
Oh, yeah,
but that doesn't matter. So what matters is how is this going to affect perhaps the undecided voter? I would like to know whether or not, because clearly this was a strategy that was told to Biden ahead of time, is you need to look at the camera and you need to just reach out to the electorate, ignore Trump, ignore him. He's going to be, a bragavan. He's going to be a bully. He's going to do whatever he's going to do. But you tune him out and you turn to the American people and you look them in the eye and you grab them right through the television, shake the malarkey out of their eyes. I'm wondering if that'll work. I'm wondering if that is going to play well, because I know NBC will say that that's what he was doing and that's why he was presidential. I know that's what's going to come out. Is it going to actually affect the middle American voter? Are they going to be like, well, he spoke to me. The malarkey has been shook from my body, right?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. That definitely was his plan. I think the issue, though, is that if you're going to do that, you have to be a little more charismatic. And, just there has to be something more to it. Biden just seemed a little too subdued. And, I mean,
a lot of mispronunciations, a lot of just
he
letting
definitely
the energy fall apart.
Yeah, it was much more Biden from the early primary debates in the Democratic primary, where he was almost invisible in some of those debates. So the strategy just has to change. I mean, if you have somebody Trump interrupt that many times, you can't just talk to the American people. Like, you have to acknowledge the fact that this man won't shut up. You have to.
They can't hear you over him.
Yeah, and that one moment where Biden said, "Just shut up." Like, didn't he say shut? I'm pretty sure he did.
Yes, he did.
He told Trump to shut up. Yeah, do more of that. Tell Trump to shut up.
Yeah,
it's my turn to speak. Shut up. He has to do more of that. And look, I do think there is something to Biden appearing more as the adult and allowing Trump to be the juvenile. I do think there is something to that, and potentially Biden doing that here for the most part did potentially reach out to people in that way. But I don't know. Then there's the other cohort of people where you want a leader who is going to fight for you, and you want to be able to see that fight in a debate like that. And I'm not really sure Biden showed the fight that he has in the past.
So Donald Trump just tweeted out a picture: volunteer now to be a Trump election poll watcher. Sign up today.
God, of course.
Yeah.
Biden has to do the same thing on his side. They have to figure something out with that.
I mean, that's potentially going to be gross election tampering. If you've got just thousands of MAGA chuds screaming at people in polling booths. I mean, what?
Yeah, they're going to need. I mean, I was going to say law enforcement, but whose side is law enforcement going to be on? So this is a situation that is, it's unprecedented. I am not looking forward to what happens that day. And I'm confident if everything was fair, Biden would absolutely win. The polling is wide enough where he's dominating not just nationally, but state by state,
key battleground states too.
Yeah, and key battleground states. I'm confident if everything's fair, Biden wins. But Trump is going to try something. Obviously, you see him setting it up.
Well, also the problem being that, like, what happens after November 3rd? Because we still have to wait for all the mail-in voting to get in, right?
Yeah. That's the other thing as well. I'm glad Chris Wallace said we likely won't have a result on election day, because I think that is going to be the case. There's going to be a lot of mail-in balloting that largely does lean Democrat. So at least it has in the past. So you're going to have to wait. People have to realize that it's very possible you will not have the results on election day, really, unless Biden has a blowout with in-person voting. But you likely won't have a result on election day, and people are going to have to understand that you're going to wait a bit. And in that process, Trump's going to try and claim victory, especially if he's leading on election day. He will definitely claim victory, and then try and fight the count of the mail-in ballots, and somehow hope it gets to the Supreme Court. I'm guessing that's part of his bet. And if not, then maybe try the process through the electors and flipping them to Republican. I mean, there's a whole piece in The Atlantic that kind of breaks down all the different scenarios that are possible, and it's a scary picture.
Well, I was going to say, I read it. It was horrifying. There wasn't really a good option. because there's so much violence that can occur in between all of these processes as well.
Yeah, and so much of it is just based on norms, and it's not really written down in stone. So if Trump just messes with the norms as he's always done, then he can steal the election, unless Democrats are able to fight and people, your average voter is able to get out there and protest any craziness that might happen. But I don't know. I don't want to get too ahead of myself yet. I'm not sure what to expect in these next couple debates, but I imagine Biden's going to step it up next time. He's going to be a little more forceful, I think. And
unless it plays well, like you just said, unless people really respond to him taking the calm, respectable father role, right? The more measured, this guy's he's an asshole and he's a bully, but I want to talk about the facts and I want to stare you in the face while I do it, kind of thing. Maybe that'll work.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was fun.
Well, it probably wasn't, but my time with you was an absolute pleasure as always, David.
Yes, that's what I do. Yes, our time was fun.
To our God, I'm Raft. We pray at your altar of greatness. To our monarch, Thomas Bone, you are the light that guides our path. To our lords, Jeffrey Lamb, Trevor R., Stephen, Nine Tails Cosmic Fox, Hans Josephine, and Poppy Nelson, we bow meekly for your pleasure. To our knights of the Round Table, Josh Mickelson, Dylan Byth, Alexander Thaler, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, Todd Lajeunesse, Clement Chetska, Skybear Games, Moss Beast, Political Puppy, Ali Menthol, Jimmy Bignuts, Alan R., Andreas Chitoro, Good Poon Hates Cops, That's Solid Poon Then, Dr. Zayas, Joppy, Radiclu, Violent Orchard, and Sophie Baby, we salute you. And to our many merchants and farmers, thank you.